This is a HeadGum podcast.
Jonathan Braylock, James III, Jerah Milligan.
What more can I say? You know what it is.
Black men can't jump.
In Hollywood. Black actors, man. Black actors. All right.
Welcome to Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood.
Hollywood City.
I thought it was appropriate this
That
time.
was very inappropriate. We're in a very nice, lovely space with construction all around us.
We're at a comedy festival, man.
I thought, like, the sound is like celebratory sounds. Thought it was appropriate.
Why do you think gunshots are celebratory
People
sounds?
shoot guns in the air when they're excited about stuff.
Yeah, freaking criminals.
All right. Not criminals.
We are literally
Not
in the same
criminals,
space.
law-abiding
Not
citizens.
just criminals.
This is bad. Can we? No, I don't.
We start over.
All right, I'm Jonathan Braylock.
I'm Jerah Milligan.
I'm James III.
For those of you who don't know, Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood is a film where we review movies of leading black actors, and then we kind of discuss them in the context of race and Hollywood's race
They
problem.
help the cause.
We try to help the cause.
The cause. You get how I said it, James?
I did. Why?
The cause.
Why are you yelling at me?
I just want to make sure you
it's
understand
the
what I mean by the
Wait,
cause.
can I redo the sound? That I want to do like a steel drum. That was a steel drum.
Wow.
What's he
Okay,
doing?
the reason that James just failed at doing a steel drum.
That was a good steel drum.
Okay, the
for
reason
just
that,
my mouth.
Yeah, sure.
That was so embarrassing.
Actually, you should be doing the drum.
I know. Hold on. Wait. Let me. Everyone, I do the drums on this podcast. All right. Hold on. I can't
What
do
are
it.
you doing?
We're 30 minutes in.
I was
30 minutes in. And we
I
got
was
this.
trying. I'm gonna give
All
it
right.
back. I was trying
We
to-
have no time. All right, we're reviewing the film Cool Runnings. Has anybody seen Cool Runnings?
Yeah, anyone in the audience?
Y'all
Yeah.
saw Cool Runnings?
Of
Yeah.
course they saw Cool Runnings.
Every-
Man, that movie's amazing.
I mean,
Yeah,
all
everybody
right.
saw Cool Runnings.
All right.
right.
So just for you, those Cool Runnings came out in 1993, I believe.
Who was first off? Are y'all alive? Were y'all alive in 1993?
Yeah, people were alive in
I feel
1993.
like I done met some people here and they're like, oh, I wasn't alive to 96, and I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah, you got to stay away from those.
I mean, I said hello, okay.
All right.
You know what? Okay, let's start.
I'm just
go
saying.
with the podcast.
Watch. Okay. Of course, the film stars Leon.
Leon is the most famous black actor that no one ever knows.
I know, and he's so good. He's so good. And Dougie Doug,
Dougie Doug.
Malik Yoba,
Oh, yeah,
and the fourth guy.
Yeah, who's that fourth guy?
He wears polo
Who,
shirts.
like,
He's
is
fine.
probably more famous than any of them.
Yeah, well, of course, and then also John Candy, of course.
John
Yeah,
Candy.
John Candy.
The late great John Candy.
Raleigh D.
His name was Raleigh?
Raleigh D. Lewis.
Respect.
Raleigh D. Lewis. The film. Okay, so the film made $154 million worldwide on a $14 million budget.
I don't know why. I don't know
What do you
why.
mean you don't know? How are you gonna hate on this film, man?
I don't know
Yo,
why.
people
This,
loved
is,
it.
this is a Disney film
I don't know.
with 4 leading black actors.
Man,
It's a feel-good movie.
A
You know what?
feel-good movie.
John Candy is in it.
can I be honest?
All right, be honest.
I think I have a problem, y'all.
I
think I don't
that's
like.
obvious.
I think I don't like joy. I don't like it. This movie has so much joy that it hurt my heart. I was like, what's all this fucking happiness about?
Well,
they all
no,
singing. Stuff is going bad. They still got all this. Don't worry, it's gonna work out.
No,
That's
in-
not life.
In Jerah's defense, this movie could have been like Remember the Titans, or like it could have been like super serious if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But instead, they just did like a fictionalized comedic version of what really happened. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't like
But it was
Dougie Doug's dreads.
It is a feel-good movie.
Yeah, it's
Why
like
would
a-
they do a struggle like a hard?
but they could have. They like if they wanted to, they could have.
I don't want to feel good. That's the point, Bray. All right? I want to know that the Jamaicans shouldn't be doing bobsled because they from Jamaica. I like to know that, okay? This movie told me lies, and I don't like it.
I don't know what lies they're talking about. Okay, anyway, yes, so the film does talk about the first ever Jamaican bobsled team, and this happened in what? I actually couldn't understand what date this was.
So it was the '88 Olympics.
88 Olympics.
Yeah,
It's a good year.
good year.
Is that when you were born?
That's when I was born.
It was a good
God.
Olympic year. 1988.
Stop looking at me as you do that.
Yeah, why are you? What?
Oh, sorry.
That was very
I mean,
weird.
I don't want to spoil the movie, but let's get into it. There's a lot of things I don't like about this
All
movie.
right, so
right.
the movie starts off. First of all, Leon is one of the prettiest men.
Yes.
He got good skin.
Oh my
Not
That's some
only
good
that,
skin.
not
Do
only-
y'all remember Leon? the main character in this movie, when he starts from, when you first see him, I was like, damn.
Him and John Boyega have some of the nicest skin of all time.
Yeah.
I wonder what do they do for their skin. It's not just cocoa butter.
It's not just cocoa
And it
butter.
can't just be makeup, because that skin is super smooth.
No, I mean, they probably like eat good food.
Nah, man. He was supposed to be Jamaican. He was eating like jerk chicken.
But they're eating like good Jamaican food. I don't know. I mean,
jerk chicken. Are there coconuts in Jamaica?
None of us know that. None of us know.
Nobody here knows.
No one here knows the answer to that question.
I'm questioning why you even asked that question.
I don't know. If we
Because we're talking about cocoa butter.
If we have Jamaican listeners, I want them to tweet
Please
us.
tell us, yes.
Tell us if there are
Wait,
coconuts
cocoa
in
butter doesn't have to do with coconut, does it?
Oh, my
What?
God.
I thought it was like chocolate.
What?
I thought it was like chocolate.
Chocolate?
No,
I thought it had
it's
like
not
chocolate
chocolate.
pieces.
You're not rubbing.
Like cocoa. I see what
I thought it was like cocoa beans.
That's not so crazy.
Actually, it makes sense.
Science.
Right, we haven't talked about this movie at all. Okay,
No,
so
we haven't.
he's running in the beginning. It's just like he's practicing to be a
sprinter.
100-meter dash, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And he's from Jamaica. I mean, Jamaica is the king when it comes to fast people.
I mean, and it's like they set it up really well. Like he really wants to get in this race, and there are like 3 people lined up together, and one of them just trips. He just trips and trips the other 2, and you realize like his dreams are dashed.
His dreams are
My
gone.
first thing I don't like about this movie, okay, as a track runner in high school and
You're a
junior Olympian.
Wait, you were a track runner?
What?
Google it. Think about this.
How did you fare against people who are significantly taller than you?
Actually, I used to do the 200. I actually was very, very good.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But I'm very lazy. Another point in life. Anyway.
As a
the thing
junior
is,
Olympian, what happened?
This is the thing. When people trip like that, you can, like, there's no reason both of them fell.
Okay, but
It's
they
insane
did.
both of
In
them fell.
this case, they didn't. They did it in slow motion. It was all dramatic, and they zoomed in on
It was
Leon's
great.
face,
This-
covered in the soot, and he was just like,
If
no.
you trip in public, you at least try to be cool about it. I'm not going to trip at an Olympic trial and then just fall flat on my face. I'm going to try to, like, swerve, pose, roll, maybe.
Okay, but
You're
he
going to pose
couldn't.
when you fall?
I mean,
He
first off,
couldn't because
okay.
his dreams wasn't about looking cool. His dreams was about being in the Olympics, and they were dashed in a moment. And he looked up and he saw the man running through, and he ripped the tape, and it was like that could have been me.
Yeah, that was sad, man.
And then in the next scene, so the reason why I'm jumping to this is because I thought that it was very nicely set up. In the very next scene, we just see him looking at a picture of
His dad.
but all we see is just a man running, and he goes, "Father, what do I do now?" And that just tells the whole story.
Oh, man,
it's just
so
like
sad,
it tells
dude.
the whole story.
And then he sees a guy next to his father, a white man with the gold medal. He's like, "Who's that?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, that's just this dude. He was a bobsledder, won 2 gold medals, but he lives on the island, but he's kind of a bum." Did you realize that this movie, the white man was the degenerate?
Yes.
How about that?
Well,
They go to the bar, and it's
The
just a
white man
at
is the
bar.
degenerate.
Everybody's looking
He's
at
the
him.
drunk.
well, technically,
He's the one in the bad part of town that they have to go to and like, oh, I don't know about this part of town.
He's the one
I
that
mean-
cheats and lies.
I mean, but he still saved the day, so he still wasn't
He
saved.
saved the day.
Yes, he did.
He
I'm
wasn't-
skipping ahead. I'm gonna skip ahead. He's the one who busts in the meeting,
I
and it's like
firmly disagree that he's the white savior character. in
he
this movie.
literally takes the kids. Okay, because I'm gonna call them kids.
Oh,
They are
you're messed
grown
up.
men.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say
They
it.
are grown
He
men.
teaches the kids how to bobsled. Okay, and then when people hold them down, he gives them the rousing speech.
Literally
and then,
one of the
and
message-
then
no,
he goes into
no,
the meeting and says, "Give
no.
the kids a shot."
I disagree. I
Can I-
disagree
wait,
wholeheartedly.
Wait, can I just say something? You see kids? Is that what you see when you see them?
I mean, it's supposed to be like
you
it's supposed
see
to be like
kids,
young,
right?
right? It's supposed to be
I'll
like,
tell you what I see. I see pride.
Uh-oh.
I see power. I see a badass mother who won't take no crap from nobody.
What?
I hate this so much.
What?
I hate this
No, you can't.
so
No,
much.
because you can't impose that they were children in this
Not
movie. 'cause
children.
The whole point was that it's the opposite.
What I'm saying is like they're still being guided. Is my point. It's like they're still not. They're
Yes,
still
they
like
need
they're
a
still,
coach.
they're still like guided
But
by like.
they help him out of his mess. So
Yeah.
he's a drunk. He's at this bar, and they're like, "Help us!" And he's like, "Nah." But then, wait, how did they convince him again?
Because they are relentless in a
They
very
are
comedic,
relentless.
in a very comedic scene. To Jerah's point earlier, it's very weird how silly it is. Like they pop up in shelves. Like they like opens a shelf and they're like,
Oh yeah, and they're in the bathroom.
My man's trying to go number 2, and they in the toilet.
Yeah.
The No, you don't mess with a man when he's trying to go number 2.
But you know what?
That is when you are the most vulnerable as a person when you go in number 2.
They are relentless, determined.
No, man.
Determined.
That is your weak spot. If you were taking a dump right now and I walked in there and was like, hey, James, what you doing? How would you feel?
I might be like, okay, fine, whatever you need, I'll do it, whatever. You got your point across.
I hate you so much.
Anyway, so they convince him, and he's like, all right. Wait, honestly, Dougie Doug in this movie kills it.
He's so funny.
He's so funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
When he's first reading what a bobsled is, he's like, all right, it's like a sled that slides on ice. Ice? Ice? And he's like, yeah, you know, it's ice. He's like, no, ice. It says ice. Ice. We're in Jamaica.
I will say this. I relate to them because I don't like cold weather, you know?
Exactly.
So I get that.
Yeah, man.
I thought they did a good job of, since we're at an improv festival right now, I'm going to talk real quick about playing the game of Jamaicans doing bobsled.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, because like really, because I thought they
seriously.
did a good, so like it started with that. Like it started with ice, right? And then they do conditioning. They do like cold conditioning where they're like inside
An ice cream
an
truck.
ice cream truck. But then when they go, like, so they've been training like that. They've been inside ice cream trucks. But then when they go to Canada, they can't go outside of the airport. They're like freezing cold and put on every article of clothing they have. Like, I thought that they played that very well. And then they get their actual uniforms, which are really thin, and Dougie Doug's like, I'll freeze in it. Like, they just kept doing it. I thought that was
one of the parts that I really loved about this movie was when they're trying to raise money, basically, because the guy who's the head of the Jamaican Olympics is like, look, I'm not paying for a Jamaican bobsled team. That's ridiculous.
We don't want to be a joke.
We're not going to be a joke. And so they have to raise money themselves. And they go to all these Jamaican businesses, and the people, they're like, yeah, we want to do a Jamaican bobsled team. And then it's just a montage of people just going,
and they point at him
just
too.
laughing and pointing.
And that's
so disrespectful.
That was another one of those moments where I was like, if this were a serious movie, you know what I mean? Like, after each meeting, there would have been some, like, discussion about, like, you got to get back up.
Yeah, man, Leon shit gave me one single tear in this movie, man. I've seen him do it. He played David Ruffin.
Yes.
Okay?
Oh, God.
He was
Wait.
in The Temptations. He can do a single
killed this
tear.
David Ruffin in The Temptations.
Honestly, though, how many films do you see in which there are, like, most of the characters are, like, wealthy black people? Because, like, there's so many wealthy black characters in this movie.
Yeah.
First off,
Cool.
But also some poor
Jonathan,
characters, too.
Jonathan, you're talking about a movie we all know there aren't, like, wealthy black people, dude.
No, there
that
are.
doesn't exist in the real world.
I think there
No,
are.
that doesn't exist. So why would we expect that in the movie?
Yeah, I've never seen.
I know,
What
what are you
about
talking
Oprah? What
about?
about Oprah, though? What about
Who is
Who even is
Oprah?
Oprah? Is
I
she
don't
real?
know.
Have you
She's on
seen
TV?
Oprah?
No.
Oprah's on TV.
Have you met her?
Actually, I've served Oprah.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
I served
time out.
her. No, I did. I served her in a restaurant once. I was working at this restaurant. That's a fancy restaurant called The Mark, and they have a couch, and she sat down, and then she just put her feet up on the couch, and nobody said anything.
What she smell like? What Oprah smell like?
I
She
didn't
probably
smell
good.
her, Jerah.
I mean, she smell good.
Why would I smell
I feel
Oprah?
like Oprah smells like a little bit of strawberry, a hint of lime,
Okay.
maybe a little bit of cocoa.
All right, let's slide out of this
You
tangent
know,
real quick.
and then also that pink hairspray women put in
Okay,
their hair.
all right, cool.
Probably a little bit of that pink hairspray.
There's a rich.
Oh, no.
Okay, wait. So we're talking about.
Yeah,
Coolidge,
because
right? Is that
there's
right?
four characters, right? So you have Leon's character who's the protagonist, but he's just very upbeat, very optimistic, relentless in his drive and energy. And then you have Dougie Doug, who's like the comedic relief, like very much like, I don't want to go to Jamaica, but I will because you're my friend. And then you have what's
Malik Yoba. What's his name?
Yul Brynner.
Yul
After
Brenner,
the film star. Which,
I know.
Why
Oh, yeah, why is he
weird.
named?
He named himself. So that's a cool thing, though, right? Like, you have this black man who's Jamaican, who wants to leave the island. He doesn't want to be there. He named himself Yul Brenner, and he wants to live in Buckingham Palace. Like, that's the picture that he took.
Yeah.
And like, it's just touching on it. I mean, the movie doesn't go too deep into it, but it's like, oh, this black man who wants to be basically a white man, right? Like, he
Right.
wants to be something else.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he
It's
would
not
more
even-
so. Leon's character seemed more like wanting to be white because he idolized, the Swedish so much that like he kept like
I don't think he wanted to be white.
I don't think anybody in the movie wanted to be
I don't
white.
think so.
But part of the drive for like Yul Brynner, for example, who is not a black person.
Yeah.
part of his drive was to get out of Jamaica. Like he's like, I want to get.
But that's what I'm saying. He wanted to remove
island.
his identity. He doesn't want to be known as Jamaican. He wants to live in a place that's very. I mean, Buckingham Palace. You know, Jamaica's a part of the whatever. What do they call it? The Queen's land.
That doesn't sound right.
But it was like it was.
But what do they call it again?
Hey, just to let you know, I would never trust Malik Yoba.
Why? As a person?
Only when I see him in movies, because I used to watch Empire and he was on it, and I was like, I don't like you no more, Malik Yoba.
But New York Undercover though.
See, I don't know. You know, I didn't trust him then either.
But New York Undercover. No,
he was a black dude wearing leather coats in the summertime on that show. That's not.
But no,
honest.
you were supposed to.
That's
you were
not
supposed
real.
to be on his side in New York Undercover.
He had on a leather jacket in the summertime, bro.
Okay.
You see anybody wearing a leather jacket right now?
No,
no, because it's hot as hell outside.
No one here is wearing
And
a
then
leather
what's
jacket.
the other character?
And then Junior.
Junior. Yes, and Junior's like, you know, this very like meek kind of like very nice, but like also.
But filthy rich.
a
Like
tool-
he's
yeah,
the
very rich.
He's the rich guy in the group.
And like a pushover a little bit. Like
Yeah.
he's like he doesn't like confrontation. So there was like 4 extremely different characters. Like you never get how do you not like this movie,
Listen, man, I told you I have an issue that I'm working out with myself because I realized it was honestly the joy of the movie that made me
So
like,
much
really.
joy.
It was like every time they started singing. You know what? Every time they overcame an
love that
obstacle,
song.
I was like, ugh. I hate this.
What?
Like really, at one point,
What?
at one point, Dougie Doug gives a speech. We can't be like the Swedes.
It's a
we have to
great
be like
speech.
we have to be like
Oh my
Jamaica.
God, it's
Great
so
speech.
good.
And then the next day they show up just singing like on the way to the thing, and I was like, "Oh, I hate y'all." I don't know why. I'm sorry.
Why?
I don't know. It's my fault.
Beautiful. It was.
It
like,
was.
It
Some
was
people
like,
saying what they can't believe. Jamaica,
Jamaica
we
have
got
a
a bobsled team.
It's
A
so
Sanka
good.
Sanka. And the one junior.
It's
right.
good. You
It's
can't
all
say.
good.
How do you not feel just warm all over? when
Even
you're
right
in-
now, I feel very cold. Honestly, I legit honestly feel cold just thinking about them singing that song. How do you feel about that, James?
They raise the money because Junior sells his car. They go to Canada, Calgary, and like the first obstacle they have to overcome is like getting a bobsled.
Yeah.
So they get this like
Yeah,
very
so
rickety
like
old one.
it's crazy too because like they get all the way there, and no one like the bobsledders don't realize they don't have a bobsled.
Right.
And in this,
Not
moment,
only they not have one, it feels like they've literally never been in one.
they've never been in one, right? So they are going to try to qualify for the Olympics, having never actually been in a bobsled.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
And in this process of John Candy trying to get a bobsled, we realize like the Americans do not like him. Like
No one likes
no
him.
one likes him. And there's like this weird mystery as to like why, like what
Yeah,
is
what's
it?
going on?
They're immediately cold to him. And I don't know, like so John Candy obviously is a comedian, but he's like he plays these moments so well.
So well.
Like,
he's very he didn't ham up anything in the movie.
No,
He was
he was
actually
a straight
very
man the whole
natural.
time.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't the comic relief. He was like just a dude. It was interesting watching John Candy in this, only because Leon was definitely the lead. But I felt like a lot of screen time was given to John Candy to see him grow as a person. Like everyone grew,
Right.
but it was more so about like him overcoming like his whole cheating and everything else like that.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me wonder, like, is the leads of this movie both Leon and John Candy?
I mean, I think Leon is the main lead, but they actually give significant screen time to all the characters.
everybody,
Because
yeah.
there was a point in which I was watching this movie, I was like, oh, they probably don't explore these characters enough. But then they like spend a lot of time with like Junior and
Yul.
Yul Brenner.
Like
and
Dougie
their
Doug is the only
relationship.
person who like you're kind of like you don't really know what his whole background is,
Right.
but then
he gets his
but then
whole
he
scene
gets-
about like defending, their like Jamaicanness, basically.
Yeah.
He's like, let's not be like the Swiss. I'm from Jamaica. I want to be from Jamaica. Like, that's what got us here. Let's like make sure to stick to our roots. Like, dude, man, this movie's so good.
I mean, I guess. I mean, look. People here at where we are right now, everyone knew the movie. It made a bunch of money, so
Lot
I'm
of
not
money.
going to hate on it. I'm just saying, okay, The joy level in this movie. For some reason, watching this movie, I kept thinking about Mighty Ducks, and I have no clue why. I have no
It's
clue
kind of
why.
like an under,
Was Mighty Ducks Disney?
Aren't they the same
underdog.
movie?
Yeah. No,
They're the same movie.
But it's like an underdog kind of story. But this is Mighty Ducks wasn't based on a true story.
No, I mean, no.
Right,
I have no clue why, but at
That'd be
every
funny
point,
if it
I was like, oh.
No, the reason, it's the same movie. Like, Emilio Estevez is formerly a respected hockey player
Yeah.
who, like, gets, he gets the sham, and he's like, no one respects him anymore. So then the thing that he has to do is go to a group of people who, like, no one thinks it's the same movie.
I mean, all I was thinking in my head was that this movie needed, like, a knuckle puck. You know? They needed, like, a special move that they did to get me excited. You know, like the flying V.
I hate
like
you
the
so
whole
much.
thing, like the whole thing about the Mighty Ducks is like, oh man, when are they going to do the flying V?
They did the flying V.
Like watching this movie, I knew these Jamaicans weren't going to win.
We're not at the
At
flying
every
V
point,
moment.
I was like,
Can I just ask you a question though? Have you ever watched a bobsled race in your entire life?
After this movie, probably. Like when I was young, I probably was like, "Oh shit, Jamaicans bobsled."
That's what I'm saying. Like hockey's a little bit more exciting. More people know about it. Like nobody knows about bobsledding. They made bobsledding like kind of cool.
No, they made it really cool.
You just said that you watched bobsledding after
Because
this movie.
man, I was a child and I was influenced by movies. Okay,
Exactly.
You know else what I did when I was a child? I thought I was the Green Ranger. Okay, I thought I was the Green Ranger.
You
gonna
thought you were the
not-
actual Green Ranger?
Did you not have the vest and costume?
Hey man, we were
No.
both the Black Rangers, I think.
Yeah.
Zach, dude.
Zach didn't have a vest, bruh. And Zach used to break dance.
Zach could break dance.
Why would
Zach
he
could
break dance and fight? You know what? Don't get me started on the Power Rangers. He was a break dancing and fighting with a high top fade.
Okay, but so I think okay, but
makes
here's
no
the thing.
sense.
Here's the thing, though. I want to get to your thing about the flying V moment of this movie. This movie does have one, and I don't want to actually talk about it yet because we're not there yet.
Dude,
I
we
think the
gotta
movie
be
does-
there.
I think the movie does have a flying V. No, I don't think we have
Yeah,
to be there.
we're good.
Do we have to be there yet?
No.
Well, no, we could talk about it.
No. Wait, what else?
What
were you gonna
flying
talk
V
about?
moment though?
I think it's the end.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
wait. No, we're not talking about the end. Oh my
Right.
God,
Okay.
Jerah.
All right. I don't want to talk about it yet. I think it's too
I
soon
mean, this
to talk
movie's
about
so
it.
boring.
You know
to
what
me
we have
right
to talk
now.
about is the
This
bar.
movie
We have to
is
talk
so
about the
boring.
bar fight. Did you say the movie is boring?
This
I hate
movie
you
is so
much.
boring to me.
This movie deals with so many things, man. It deals with black identity, nationalism, hope.
It just felt cartoonish.
Yeah, and it was.
It's
It felt
a
so-
I mean, it is a
so
PG,
cart-
it's
it was
a
like-
PG movie.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
I get it
family
was for
movie.
families, but I was like, it just didn't feel like it was serious to me. So I was like, why should I?
But there are a
take
lot
this
of
serious?
serious moments. Like when he has to stand up to his father. Dude, that actor who plays Junior is so powerful. So there's basically a scene where his father comes and he's like, you're not in the Olympics. I like paid money for you to go to business school so that you can be a businessman. Stop doing your silly little sports thing. You know, that's final. And he kind of gets in the elevator, and Junior sees himself in the mirror, and we had already seen, like, this scene between him and Yul Brynner where he's like, you know, the speech that I was doing before, I see pride, I see power, I see a bad mother. And so he sees himself in the mirror, and he remembers it, and he just, like, stops the elevator with his hand. He's like, no, father. He's like, I'm not a boy. I'm a man. Oof. Woo!
Did no one?
I'm a man. And his father literally his father says nothing, and he just lets the elevator door close.
The door close, and it's like,
And then you're
is that
like,
the last time he's gonna.
I know.
see
It's
him?
like such a little break.
Did no one see that coming? Honestly, at that point, I expected to see everyone, like the other three people.
all of them in a line, just like slow clap for him.
I literally thought that was going to turn around.
But
and
it
hit him.
didn't because it's not a cartoon.
No,
It's a
but
good
one of them
movie.
was there though, right?
Yeah,
Who was-
Yul
somebody
was
right?
there, but
Oh, you're talking about the slow clap?
Yeah, I'm talking about like
At the
literally.
end? Why do you
no.
keep skipping to the
No, I'm talking about like
Yul was
after,
there.
after he like told his dad off. I was
Yeah,
expecting
Yul
it to be
Brynner was in the
such
back.
a moment. It was like, you did it. Yes.
But it's not because it's not a cartoonish film. It's
We
actually
still
done
had
very-
one there. If it was like not cartoonish, you'd have just turned away and like.
No, he
walked
saw.
right to the
He would
room.
see you see your friend like dealing with something pretty rough, and he comes back over and he's like, "You did good, man."
And also, like, that moment connects to so many more things, right? So, like, Junior is the person who tripped and fell and tripped the other two. And
Yeah.
so, like,
he feels bad.
Yul has, like, this anger and resentment towards Junior. And, like, throughout the movie, we're slowly seeing these moments where, like, Yul is trying to help him out and I don't know, like,
Yeah,
him
this
being there
huge
is like,
friendship forms between them.
Yeah, it's like this.
When in the beginning of the movie, he was like, "You keep that mama's boy away from me."
I mean, we knew that was happening. I mean, like, you know what it was?
Just for the record,
felt like
Jerah
just so
liked
by
The
the book.
Last Dragon, which is
All
a
right.
god-awful movie.
I mean, it
you
felt-
liked House Guest, but you're crapping on Cool Running.
Well, first off, I didn't say Last Dragon was a good movie. I just liked it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it was a character named Show Nuff. He walked around with
Yeah, you can't-
bedazzled
you can't not like
basket
Show
football
Nuff.
pads.
yeah,
man.
but there's a character in this movie called Sanka
man.
and Yul Brenner.
I mean, this movie wasn't for me.
and then, oh wait, we have to talk about the John Candy scene where he like goes into the.
Okay, yeah. So
So basically, they qualify. They have to go under. Like they keep pushing it down. It's like it was first a minute 5, then they push it down to a minute 2, then it's like a minute. They're like, you have to beat this sled race in a minute to qualify, and then they do it. They celebrate, and then they get a letter that's like, you guys are out. You're disqualified. And so we go in and we realize the reason is because they said they've never raced before in another international race. And this year they changed the rule that even though the qualifiers is an international race, they disqualified them because they're like, well, we just made a new rule that now that you have to have done it a year before.
And like in this moment, John Candy does like this rousing speech, like that goes into the detail. Like we don't know why he cheated, or like if he even really did, or like we know that he's ousted and like people aren't against it. But he explains that like it's the worst moment of his life, and like
He let his country down. He let his teammates
he
down.
admitted
his
he did.
coach
But he's
down,
like,
right?
but he's like, don't. Yeah, he did cheat.
He did.
And it was clear. It's just sort of this thing that's like unclear in the movie.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
It's not like unclear in the reality, but it's unclear in the movie if he did. And like he gives this whole speech of like, don't, just because I embarrass my country, don't take away the opportunity for Jamaica to stand up for theirs. And it's
Right.
like this like. First of all,
He also makes a point, like at one point he's like, oh, I didn't realize like 4 black guys in a sled could make you blush.
yeah.
Like, and they're like, all right, don't go there. But it's like very, I mean, that's the one thing I do want
Sounds
to
like
talk
a
about.
savior
Do
to
we
me.
want it? What?
Sound like a savior to me.
Yeah,
You
sure.
are such a hater.
No, but not, like
Disliking
sure.
something isn't hating. It
No,
sounds
but,
like,
like,
a sounds like a savior part of
Jerah,
me.
like,
it
really.
legit does.
I understand that. but
That scene legit.
But they
sounds-
saved
this movie
him
is
first.
about, but this movie in particular, and I don't know the scenarios in real life. Like, I don't know if this guy is based on a real guy as well. But
I think probably.
yeah, probably is. But like, I think that this movie more so plays on the teacher student sort of relationship
Yeah.
versus like it's less about him. Because it's not that he...
Because he had a
brings
relationship with his
something out
father.
of- it's not like he goes to them and brings something out of them
Exactly.
that they never knew they had. He teaches them how to be good at bobsledding. But he's not the one that's like, stop... He's not the one that's like, stop being Swiss out there. You got to be Jamaican out there. He's not the
Right.
one that does that.
He also doesn't
No, he
like
fights
take
the
them.
bigger fight.
He doesn't take them
The
from
bigger fight?
No, he doesn't
No,
fight
I
the bigger
think-
fight. He fights the little small thing. Like he's not the one. So here's the thing about the white savior complex. Like in movies, what happens is you'll have like a black person who is in a situation in which there's literally no way out of, and a white man will come in and save the day. So like Brad Pitt in 12 Years a Slave, right? Like you have, I mean, which is a real life thing, but like you have like, the white teacher coming into the inner city and like helping the poor black kids who like could never rise up on their
First
own.
off, don't talk about Michelle Pfeiffer like that, bro.
But, like,
Michelle
just say-
Pfeiffer, no. You leave Michelle Pfeiffer out of this.
That's that's like, so there's so many of those moments, This was like 4 black men who had a dream that was dashed because of an accident that happened. Then they're like, they figure out a way to achieve their dream again. They go and find a white man who is out on his luck. Like, his life is ruined, washed up. He's a drunk. He's a degenerate. He's a gambler. He has no money. They're like, hey, look, we see something in you. Why don't you help us achieve the things that we know we can achieve? And he's like, oh, okay. So they help him first, and then he in turn helps them, because that's what he was there for.
Right.
So
and
it's a different. Well, I wanted to talk about real quick because we don't have much time. I want to talk about like, how do you feel? Because I do feel that this movie kind of skated over race a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
that was the only point in the movie where they ever talked about them being black. Like, they very much made it feel like, hey, Jamaica,
Well, they made
It's like, oh, Jamaica's a tropical island. That's why it's funny that they're bobsledding because there's no ice in Jamaica.
Oh, so I didn't see that like that at all.
But I know that what I'm saying is that's how the movie painted it. But they never really talked about the fact that like everybody else is white. Like even on the U.S. team where there are black people living, like everybody who's in bobsledding is white, and they're like, huh.
Oh, the moment every time
there's these four
Jamaica,
black guys coming out.
Every time they said Jamaica, I assume they meant black. Like, anytime you saw, like, America, anytime you saw people look down on them and say, oh, Jamaicans, it felt like they were saying black to me.
I mean, okay, yeah.
Like, almost every
so,
time.
no, I kind of more saw it as just the Jamaica's a tropical. Like, they're already an underdog because it doesn't make sense. Like, from the beginning, the first person to laugh at the idea is Coolidge, who is a Jamaican.
Yeah, a bunch of Jamaicans laugh at them.
For me, at the core of it is that.
But the thing is, they qualified, right? So like they qualified to be in the Olympics, meaning they did exactly what they had to do to compete on a worldwide international level, and then people kept saying like, you shouldn't be here, you're a joke. So to me, that's when it started to go like, why are they a joke? Like, what's the difference? Because they've never been a Jamaican team before?
The moment they,
do you think they should have talked about their race more? Is what I'm asking.
I don't think they should have, because I think if they would have, then this movie wouldn't have been so palatable to so many people.
I also don't think...
Right. That's what I was thinking, too. They only did it in that one scene, in that one comment where he was like, are you guys so embarrassed? And they were kind of just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And they never talked about it again.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think in a different movie, sure. But, like... I don't know. I think that in this movie that's not a very nuanced movie, that sort of discussion, though, is a little more nuanced. Like, I think that, like, when they start doing the intercutting between, like, Jamaica's now watching.
Yeah.
And they're there at every step of the way, like, now rooting, even though they didn't want this to happen in the first place. Now they're in a position where they are... where we're standing up for each other as a people, right? The Jamaicans are.
Right.
And so then you're thinking about these things, but the movie is not going boom, 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 like hitting you over the head with these ideas.
I mean...
Jerah has the most smug.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I have nothing to say about it. I'm sorry. I want to talk about it. I just have nothing.
In defense of what you've been saying, and I've kind of been saying this the whole time, like, this movie didn't have to be a comedy. Like, they chose to make it a comedy.
I like that they made it a comedy.
Yeah, me too, and I thought it was very funny.
I didn't mind that. It just didn't... Like, to me, it's the difference between making this, like, a comedy and making it, like...
A cartoon?
Joke. Yeah, it felt like a joke to
Wait,
me.
why did it feel like a joke?
Because it felt so cartoonish, like from the almost everything they did
at the core
like,
of it, they were at the core of it, they were a joke because they were not just the Jamaicans.
He's saying
the film, the way they projected, the fact that how they got John Candy was straight up cartoonish.
Yeah.
It was straight up cartoonish.
It wasn't cartoonish. It was
they were like
it was cartoonish.
They like popped up in places that they couldn't have been. Like that was silly.
Insane.
It was,
but it's a kids movie. So I get it. It's a kids movie.
Right, yeah. And I think that, like, right, it's not just.
But
that they made
I mean, again, I think it was just it's very comedic in the way that they wanted to tell the story, just like a Mighty Ducks is. But it's to me, it made it they didn't stray away from the dramatic tensions that and the underlying relationships that were in the film.
Yes.
So much so that now we can talk about the end. At the end of the movie, so. They're, the first run that they do doesn't do well.
And every single one, you are on the edge of your seat if you liked it. If you didn't like the movie,
the part you're about to come to then is probably my least.
Oh my goodness!
It's my favorite.
Every single race, I was like, what? Oh.
Yeah, and so they're watching. They see like all of their friends or whatever back home in Jamaica watching them on television. And the world is watching them. They made that abundantly clear. They don't want to make themselves a joke. But the first one, they don't do well, and everybody's like, "Oh no, like this was a mistake or whatever." Then they have the speech about Sanka has a speech about we're Jamaicans. We need to do it our way. They come in, they're singing. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Come on, Jamaica's bobsled time, right? Cool running. They go down the track. They're like, whoa, holy crap. They're like, get off of such a fast start.
They're like,
they
way
do a
better.
run that's like even slightly better than the Swiss.
It's great because like we see them at home and they're just like, the people in Jamaica and they're just like, oh God, it just better be better than last time.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, everyone's like,
they move from last to 8th place. You have the kids there who are
Coolidge
there
just showed up. He's going to watch now. And you're like, oh, okay. All right. Coolidge is watching.
Yeah. And, And so then they do the last run, and they get off to a great start again. They're going down, and they kind of show the sled, and they show this little bolt coming out. Boom, something happens with the sled. Boom, they crash.
They should have been.
I know. And the thing is, the movie set that up too, where you were actually really afraid because they show this huge video in the beginning where they were like, "Oh, bobsledding is actually a really dangerous sport, and people have died from it." And so they crash, and it's like this huge, horrible crash. Everybody's scared. They come on over.
We see their heads pinned to the side
pinned
of
to the side.
the slope.
You see
for like
them,
20 seconds.
The helmet's like scraping against the ice.
20 straight seconds of, and everyone's like,
oh my God.
Dead.
I thought they were dead.
People are coming over, and remember, there was this whole string of jokes where Leon would be like, "Sanka, you dead?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, man." And so, but he goes, "Sanka, you dead?" Or no, wait, no, Sanka says,
"You dead?"
Are you dead? And he's like, "No." And they get up, they grab the bobsled. He's like, "I have to finish the race." And they just start walking the bobsled over to the finish line.
It's like pallbearers.
And they're like, "No, we will finish this. We are not jokes. We are men. We have pride.
Can I ask a question?
We have power.
Can I ask a question?
We're bad mother."
And then the audience.
And they just start slow clapping, and then his father's in the audience. No, you can't ask the question. I'm finishing this. The father's in the audience, and the father, he sees his son, Junior, who
wearing
is
a
told,
coat.
"I will never let you be an Olympian in your life." And Junior's like, "I'm a man, Dad." And then his father's like,
wearing a
"You know
coat.
what? You are a man."
He rips open his coat.
Jamaica on it, and he's just
like, hold
crying,
the coat, just
clapping. And then teams are streaming down John Braylock's face, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is the best movie ever."
And then as they're crossing the finish line, okay, as they're crossing the finish line, Leon looks up at the finish line, and then you're just remembering the moment from the scene before when John Candy says to him, he goes, "How do you know if you're a hero? When you cross that finish line, you'll know." And just as he's crossing it, you're like,
he's a hero.
How did people know? How did people know that the bobsled is the thing that messed them up, and they just didn't mess up again?
I mean,
hold on.
That's
hold
a
on.
good
Let me
question.
finish.
No, please
I let
finish.
y'all go on a 10-minute tirade.
No, please finish.
Okay.
That is a great question.
Before, when they messed up, people called them a joke. They had one good run. They almost killed themselves.
Yeah.
No one knows what happened on the bobsled. No, literally, it's never addressed.
It's
no
never
one
addressed.
knows. All of a sudden, the people they made fun of before had one good run, and they crashed.
Look, let me.
They literally hold on. They literally proved technically. Okay, they could have proved everyone that they were a joke because no one knows it was a mechanical mess up. And all of a sudden, these black dudes come and start walking down the ice holding it, and people slow clapping them like they fucking did something special. No, bro, you lost.
Dude.
No, hold time out. Not only did you lose, you bombed. And then you gonna walk slow and take up time? I'm watching the Olympics, man. I got a beer in my hand. Get your ass off the ice.
You watch the Olympics with a beer?
I mean,
Yeah,
people
right?
do.
Don't you? I mean, you do,
my
right?
thing is, at no point did people know. My thing is, it could have been them. My thing is, it could have been them. And all of a sudden,
whole time,
my
I
thing
thought
is,
the same thing.
Where did the inspiration come from? Where did people feel inspired from?
Can I tell you?
Because they almost died.
No, wait, but
That?
listen to this.
Are you going to listen to?
Yeah, no,
I've been
listen to this.
listening to y'all. I've been quiet this
You
whole
asking a
time.
question.
I think this is a good point, but
Go ahead, please.
I agree with what
it's
he's
not-
about to say.
It's not a good point.
I think it's a good
No,
point.
it's not a good point.
Did they ever
when you
address
have, listen, when you have a
long
runner,
you been talking
if
on
you
this
have a
podcast?
runner who's running a marathon,
Carly,
and
how
that
long you
runner
been talking on this podcast?
and that runner collapses, and then they get up and they go across the finish line, even if they lost and they're the last person to cross it, people clap.
That's right.
The inspiration comes from human endeavor.
The perfect attendance award.
No,
Because you were here.
finishing what you started.
Great job finishing. Get
Here's
out.
the
I
thing.
got a slow clap
Here's the
before
thing.
it.
I was
you don't
skeptical
understand.
of the break. I was very skeptical of the
It was like
They
it was
did,
like
and the
so-
announcers talked about it. The announcers were like, "Oh, they're on that rickety old
Yeah,
sled."
it's a very old thing.
Yeah.
But I think that the inspiration definitely comes from the fact that we've seen two instances where these same guys
Yes.
two instances where these same guys have not finished a race. This time they were going to finish.
They're going to finish the race. All right, it's time for the swirl.
Now let's go straight to the cause, man. We only got 5 minutes left.
Are you going to do the swirl?
Nah, man, we got 5 minutes, man. We gotta go.
This guy.
We got
do it.
Wait,
wait.
was there a
rush hour.
There could have been a
There was
swirl.
should have been a swirl in the all right, quick. There should have been a swirl in the cowboy bar with what's his name, Dougie Doug, and the woman who he took his cowboy hat. They could have made love in the middle of the bar as everyone was fighting. It would have been great. If people were in there fighting, they'd have been having love.
This is
He'd
my
have said,
favorite
In the
swirl.
middle of the bar?
He'd have
This is
been
my
like,
favorite
he was like,
swirl.
I'm doing this for Jamaica, man.
Does he
what
wear a
said.
cowboy hat when he's doing
He
it?
has a cowboy hat on. He has her cowboy hat on, and all of a sudden she's like, "I love America." He's like, "I love Jamaica." He's like, "What is it? International ties have been made. Let's do this." Boom, quickest swirl of all
Yeah.
time.
Wow.
Boom, let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, it's time for the cause. We rate films not based on how much we like them, but if they help the cause of more leading black actors in Hollywood.
Oh no.
So we give it a black fist if we feel like it helped the cause, a white palm if we were like it's so or nothing. All right, you guys ready?
No.
I'm closing my eyes because I
No.
am scared. I'm turning around. I don't like you, Jerah.
Wait,
All right, here we
where
go.
are you starting with? You
No,
starting,
I don't like you anymore.
Are you starting 1, 2, 3?
I'm starting 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Are you gonna say 1, 2, 3, go?
What did I just?
Okay.
I don't
All
like
right,
you.
my fault.
All right. 1, 2.
Hold on, time. Okay. All right. Okay. Wait, did you put it?
I didn't
you
say
do it?
3 yet.
Okay. Are you gonna say 3 today?
Can you
3.
say 3? Okay. 3 black fists.
3 black fists.
Because
That's right.
I am a man of my word.
I
all right?
almost gave it a white palm though.
I didn't judge this movie.
Wait, I really did though because
Why?
because Leon, man, why is Leon not a leading black man?
I didn't tell you. I saw Leon on my birthday this year.
Whoa,
No,
I stayed
you
at a
didn't.
hotel. I stayed at a
No,
hotel.
you didn't.
I stayed at a hotel.
Why you ain't tell me?
Hold on, I meant to. I meant to at the beginning. I'm sorry, but I saw because it's not. When I saw him, it wasn't the most flattering way to see him. I'm sitting out. I'm coming back to the hotel, and there's just a group of black people just hanging out on like a stoop, and I'm like, bro, we in Beverly Hills. You might not want to be on the stoop, and it's like Leon. It's like Leon with like
Just out on a stoop?
Yo, just like out on the stoop, like him and his folks. I'm like, bro, this does not make us look good here, man. And he had on all black. I was like, bro, get your ass inside.
But yeah, like I mean, I still gave it a black fist mostly because like there were like the film did everything it was supposed to do. I loved. I just loved it, but also like there were four black men. They're like most of the cast is black until they get to Canada. But like they have
Majority of the movie.
they're all distinct. They're all different characters. They all have like personal motivations. Like and it showcases them all very well. Like the acting is great in it, and all of them. And also the film made $154 million worldwide with 4 black leads. And yet we still have to have this weird conversation of like, I don't know, black people just don't do well overseas. It's like, shut your mouth. It cost $14 million to make. Do you understand how much?
Shut your mouth, bro. I feel you. I mean, Leon had good skin in this movie, man.
Yeah, and Leon.
It was almost like peanut butter.
But Leon's career is not what it should have. You know what I mean?
Well, Chad Boseman is the new Leon, except for more successful.
But Leon should have. But Leon never
definitely
got
more
to do a
successful.
Leon.
Yeah, he never
Yeah.
I mean, like Leon
Anyway,
is
that's
the
me.
Lorenz Tate of Chad Boseman's.
yeah. If you understand what James just said, you will definitely agree.
I gave it a fist. I was thinking about giving it a palm too because at one point, Dougie Doug's dread freezes off. And I just thought, like, you can't put people in charge of that. You can't be doing these movies where dreads freeze off. You can't do that.
Right. That makes no sense to give a palm for that.
Right,
Okay.
but no, just like sort of you don't know what type of story is being told. It's sort of the line between like how serious are you taking this very real story. But it was very funny. I thought it was very good. A lot of people loved it, and man, Leon and Malik Yoba in a movie.
Yeah, I get
Leon and Malik Yoba.
Okay,
and Dougie Doug.
Okay, I hear you.
Okay.
No, I mean, listen, I gave it a fist. I didn't like it. I thought it was cartoonish. It did have. I mean, to me, I gave it a fist for like 3 reasons. One, because you guys liked it so much, felt so passionate about it. I was like, all right, cool. Also, we're at DCM 18 in New York, and like everyone here is majority white, and they all know of this movie. So obviously, this movie has some like crossover like appeal, which I think is extremely important because at the heart, this was like a brown story, and it was seen as more than just skin color.
It's seen as a human story.
Yeah, so like that is very important. I mean, it made a bunch of money.
That's why everybody clapped at the end, man.
And the thing is, I mean, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure when I was younger, I wanted to be a bobsledder or something because I'm pretty. Like, I feel like
How do
I
you
did.
have a vague memory?
I mean,
that-
and
I
let's be
remember
real.
this movie being a thing.
Let's be real. Nobody cares about the Winter Olympics.
No, oh wait, until the X Games came, because the X Games they be doing that. They be flying in the sky and be doing.
I'm just
Superman
saying it's
poses.
not as like nobody had. Disney didn't have to do a story about the first ever Jamaican bobsled team. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not.
true.
It's very easily a story that you overlook, but
True.
they didn't, and they made it. And I know you guys are like, oh, it was comedic, but I feel like they made it comedic so like we could relate to what they felt like they were going through, which is like, oh man, like is this right? This
That's
seems like a
true.
silly thing, but it's not.
I mean,
it means a lot to
the
us.
movie could have had a real life swirl in it, but I mean, that's just what it is.
That's
you
true.
know?
It should have actually. I
I
thought
mean,
you were going to do him when in the kissing booth, because man, he was making out with that woman, and then he looks up and his wife's right there, and she's just like,
Well, they didn't
what?
show. They didn't show any aside from John Candy. I don't think they showed any people who weren't black in Jamaica, like at all.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
All right, that is all for us. Do you have anything else to say?
nope.
Just have y'all seen the movie Rebound? The movie Rebound
What
with
is-
Martin Lawrence?
Why?
Because Rebound's
never
about
heard of
a
that.
guy who like used to be.
All right, that's not up for us. All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Bruh, Rebound.
What's up, y'all? It's time for some plugs. You can follow us at Black Men Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or go to blackmenpodcast.com. We got some shows coming up in LA, baby. You can see us recording a live episode of our podcast August 20th at 5 p.m. at the Hollywood Improv, or you can catch us with Astronomy Club performing at UCB Franklin August 18th at 8 p.m., August 23rd at 9:30 p.m. and UCB Sunset August 22nd at 10:30 p.m. All those shows I just mentioned are $5. That's $5. And Abraham Lincoln, he freed the slaves. So you know what I'm saying? Just drop $5. Come see us do a show. All right. Follow us individually. I'm at James Third Comedy or JamesThirdComedy.com. Third is 3RD. Jerah Milligan at Jerah Milligan or Jonathan Braylock at John Braylock, JohnBraylock.com. All right. Next week, we got Beverly Hills Cop 2 for our 1 year anniversary. Thank you so much for listening for the last 52 weeks, baby. We'll see you next week. Peace.
That was a HeadGum podcast.